Hello and welcome to this lesson where we're going to talk about some pixel art basics and how to use the various tools in Photoshop properly for creating pixel art. The distinguishing difference between pixel art and other art forms is a lack of anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing is basically the smudging of pixels in various forms. Without it, you see a clearly defined shape without pixelation or smudging occurring. To show you the difference, let's take a look at an example. I'm going to go to File, New here in Photoshop. I'm going to leave it 860 by 600 and OK. All right, so basically let's take the elliptical marquee tool and I'm going to put a new layer real quickly, Control Shift and N. And with this selected, we can see there's a number of options, but the one we want to specify is anti-alias, and we want to check that on. So if I draw out a perfect circle using Shift and Alt left clicking, and I fill it in with the paint bucket tool with anti-aliasing on, and I hit Control D to deselect, we can see that if we zoom way up, we have some different pixels occurring here in terms of colors, and it fades it in to the background essentially. These pixels are basically transparent to a certain degree. So we can see right here it's nice and smooth. So if we create a new layer, and this time we decheck or uncheck anti-alias, and we draw out a similar circle. I'll move it over here, and we fill this in, and hit Control D. We'll see there's a very big difference, especially when we zoom up and we see what is occurring here. Over here we have several different shades of red, where over here we have absolutely nothing. Okay, so now going forward, it's important to understand how to use the various tools for creating pixel art in Photoshop. So let's start first with the marquee tools. I'm going to delete these layers and create a new layer. And we'll start here with these marquee tools right here. If you hold down and left click, you'll see the menu that shows up. And primarily the ones that you're using are the rectangular marquee tool and the elliptical marquee tool. And you'll see the primary difference when you're creating pixel art is whether or not this anti-alias button is checked on or off. So you're going to want to ensure that it is checked off. Same thing, we don't really have to worry about the rectangular marquee tool because since that's a very straight edges and we don't have to worry about that. When it comes to the lasso tool, same exact thing. If we go ahead and with it off, we can see that it's going to give us no anti-aliasing. Another tool down here is the brush tool and also the pencil tool. Now, when it comes to the brush tool, this is something that you generally would want to avoid in terms of creating pixel art. The preferred tool to use would be the pencil tool. And we can see if we come down here, I'm going to increase the size. And notice you can see all the brush presets, they're showing up in anti-aliasing or non-anti-aliasing form. If we come over here to, for example, the brush tool, you can see that they are anti-aliased. So if we come back here to the pencil tool and we begin to draw out, we can see by default there is no anti-aliasing on. So that's going to be a tool that we're going to use quite a bit when it comes to the pixel art project. Go ahead and delete this. Now also there's the eraser tool. So the eraser tool has different modes, and you have the brush mode, which is basically anti-aliasing on, and then you have the pencil mode, and this is really what we can use in conjunction with our pixel art to delete individual pixels. So to show you an example real quick, we just draw a line real quick and we zoom up. Right now we only have it at a single pixel. We can see it's very easy. Now if this was changed to the brush, you'll see how you see the anti-aliasing occurring. Okay, go ahead and delete that. And then finally we have the type tool, which can also be controlled in terms of the anti-aliasing. So if I type in hello, scale this up a bit, we can see that this is currently set to smooth. So if we look at the E, for example, That's smooth. Now if we change it here to none, there we go. So we're going to be using the type tool once throughout our project, and we'll be using it in none for anti-aliasing right here. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then also we have these tools down here. You have the line tool, and this has the same mode over here where you can choose shape, path, or pixels. So when you're dealing with pixel art, you want to use pixels if you're going to be using the line tool. And you also have the option of anti-aliasing or not up here. And that is essentially it. That's all you really need to know to get started with our project coming up in a couple lessons. So in the next lesson, we're going to talk about understanding isometric graphics. All right, so I'll see you then.